To be formed, my friend. Realize yourself that. When the world turns its back, when your hands tremble with doubt, when your name no longer opens doors but drags in silence, we fall, not because we are weak, but because we are meant to understand the ground, to remember what humility tastes like. A man who has never lost, never failed, never broken, he is dangerous. Not because of his power, but because he is fragile. You cannot trust a man who has never been humbled by failure. Falling is not the end. It is the invitation to rise stronger, to see clearer, to walk with purpose. Lesson 1. Pain is the price of wisdom. Every bruise on your soul, every scar on your heart, they are not marks of shame, they are stamps of experience. I remember a time when I trusted the wrong man, gave him my hand, my name. He turned, betrayed me, and for weeks I couldn't sleep. I wanted revenge, but then I listened to the silence, to my thoughts, and I realized my mistake was not the fall. It was not learning from it. Pain is a teacher, and a man who runs from it will always remain a boy. Lesson 2. No one rises by accident. If you want to get up, you must decide to. Not tomorrow, not when it's easy, now. The monk once told me the tree that bends in the storm survives, but the tree that waits for the storm to pass, it breaks. You must move through the pain. You must build yourself in it. Discipline, routine, vision. That's your armor. That's how you climb back from the darkness. You fall to remember what matters. And when you rise knowing who you are. Lesson 3. Protect the flame. Inside you there is a fire. Call it purpose, call it pride, call it legacy. When the world knocks you down, it tries to put that fire out. And most men, they let it. But the few, the dangerous few, they protect it. They rise again not for revenge, not for applause, but because their flame demands it. Why do we fall? So we can learn how to rise with reason. Not with rage, not with panic, but with power, with patience, and with peace. Tell me something. When was the last time you failed? Not just stumbled, but fell hard, face in the dirt, heart full of doubt, dreams scattered like ash in the wind. You see, the world tells you, avoid failure, stay safe, play small. But I'll tell you the truth. Why do we fall? Because we were never meant to stay down. I've seen power. That's when the transformation begins.
Lesson 1. Failure is in the end is the mirror. Failure doesn't define you. It reveals you. It strips you down. No excuses, no lies. It shows you who you are when no one's watching. Most men run from it. But you sit with it. You look it in the eye. You learn. Lesson 2. Discipline over emotion. When you fall, your emotions scream. Anger, shame, regret. But emotion is loud and often wrong. Discipline is quiet. It says, get up, show up, do it again. You want to be great? Be the man who acts, even when it hurts. Lesson 3. Fall forward, not backward. Every fall is a choice. Backward into fear or forward into growth. You lost the job, good. Now build something they can't fire you from. She left you, good. Now become the man you were pretending to be. This pain, it's not punishment, it's the preparation. Lesson 4. You are not broken, you are becoming. You're not weak because you fell. You're stronger than most because you're still standing. The man who never failed, he never tried. The man who always wins, he never grew. You, on the other hand, you're becoming something different. Tell me something. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I fall? Do you fall because you're weak? Because you're not good enough? Because life is unfair? Or no, you fall because life needs to teach you something. And the greatest lessons, they never come while you're standing tall. They come when you're on your knees, with nothing left but the silence of your own breath. You see, strength doesn't show up when everything is going right. It reveals itself when everything is falling apart. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man I knew once, thought he could conquer the world overnight. Smart, ambitious. But when life threw its first punch, he folded. Now here's the twist. He stayed down. Not because he was weak, but because he didn't understand that falling is not the end. Staying down is. The monks say, a man's true character is not shown in the light of praise, but in the darkness of failure. So what does the Godfather say? I say this, if you want to lead, if you want respect, you must earn it. And you earn it not when you succeed, but when you refuse to stay down. Own your fall. You don't blame the world, you don't blame your enemies, you don't even blame your past. You own it. You stand in front of the mirror and say, yes, I fell, and yes, I will rise. Because when you take full responsibility, you take full control. Discipline is the bridge between pain and power.
You fall 10 times, you get up 11. And every time you rise stronger, smarter, and more dangerous. Calm mind, a disciplined heart, and an unshakable will. That is what separates the ordinary from the unforgettable. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It only remembers how you responded. So ask yourself, is today one day or day one? Let me ask you something. Have you ever sat alone after a failure, wondering if you were ever meant to succeed? I have. There's no shame in falling. The shame is in staying down. But to understand that, you must first understand why we fall in the first place. Most people fear failure like it's a disease, like it's some permanent stain on their pride. But I'll tell you the truth most never hear. Failure is a teacher, and only those willing to learn become truly powerful. As a young man, I trusted the wrong people, made the wrong moves, and I paid. But in the silence of those losses, I found something more valuable than success. I found myself. You see, pain is not the enemy. The enemy is comfort. When you fall, fall forward. Take something from the ground when you're down there. Pick up a lesson, a truth, a better version of yourself. The monk once told me it is not the storm that defines you, but the way you sit through it in silence. Do you break when pressure comes? Or do you breathe, adjust, and move again? That choice is always yours. Lesson 2. No one respects a victim. You want to command respect? Then rise, quietly, without begging for applause. When you whine, the world sees weakness. But when you walk forward, even with blood on your knuckles, the world sees strength. Every empire is built on scars no one ever sees. Lesson 3. Failure is the first step to mastery. You think I became the man I am by avoiding mistakes? No. I made more mistakes than most, but I studied every one of them. I didn't ask why me. I asked what now. That shift alone, that's power. Lesson 4. Self-talk is strategy. For 3 days after my worst defeat, I locked myself away. And I said only one thing every morning. This pain will serve me. I said it until I believed it. Until that pain no longer defined me, but refined me. The way you speak to yourself shapes the man or woman you become. Speak like a leader, and you will grow into one. Lesson 5. Time waits for no one. You're not promised another chance. You're not promised another day. So if you're going to fall, fall now. Then get up and rise as if you've never known fear. Because time doesn't forgive those who hesitate. And the world belongs to those who move, even when they're limping. So, why do we fall? To remember that we're...
The world will follow those who follow their own inner command with that said. Thanks for watching, and until next time.